was kind of a strange event. So we end up eating our food, and he's like, well, we got to figure out, what to do with this. And I said, why don't we gift it? And then he was like, oh, that's a great idea. There's a gifting stump back here. And I said, yeah, that's what you're telling me about. So he said, let's prep it. So we got all the food laid up, and Robin said, I'm going to carry it. And I was like, that's fine. I didn't want to carry it. And I was like, you go ahead. So she's like, ugh. So I made her carry it the whole way. I wasn't going to assist. No. No. So we get out to the gate, and Mike he tells us how to get through the gate. And so we get through it, and there's a little dirt hill. It's kind of weird, but you walk out and around the dirt hill, and there's like a series of trees and a stump. Now by this time the moon is coming up. It's cresting it. It's lighting up the area. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of odd, because I was always told that Bigfoot don't come out when it's a full moon. So we put the plate out there, and we're sitting there quietly, and you can see on the other side of this little hill, you can see all the way out and see the fence line, and all the way out further than that, and you can see another fence line way off in the distance. And way over to the right, there's all kinds of trees. Way over here, it's open space here. There's a couple sporadic trees here and there. You can see some hills. You can see some mountains. We're like in a crazy valley, and there's mountains all around us. I was like, all right. And then the forest behind us. So right away, she's sitting there. Now Mike and I are kind of talking, and she goes, oh, they're here. Oh, they're here. And I was like, I looked at Mike. Mike looked at me, and I was like, I don't remember seeing. Where did they walk? He goes, they walk across here. I said, are you serious? How did we miss that? And he goes, we shouldn't have. Because they're not fast moving. They kind of meander. I'm like, how's she already see them? And he goes, I don't know. So she goes, Patrick, come here. You gotta see this. So I get up, I walk over, and Mike kind of starts walking over. And she's like, oh, look at him. There's a mother and a father, and look, and then there's a baby, or a little boy, a little girl. Oh, look how beautiful they are. Oh, and I walk over, and I'm like, I'm looking for him. I don't see it. I don't see anything. I said, she goes, do you see him? And I went, nope. And she was like, what do you mean? They're right there. The father's right there. The dad, the mom, and the kid. They're all right there. They're eating. Go ahead and eat. Yeah, go ahead. It's lovely. Go ahead and eat. Oh, it's so special. Go ahead and eat. Eat the food. Yes. Eat that food. And I was like, what are you looking at? And she was like, they're right there. How do you not see them? Stand right here. I said, we're like this. Her perspective, my perspective. We're seeing the same thing. How is that different? It's not. I'm seeing exactly what she should be seeing. Is a stump, a plate, food, trees. She's not seeing that. She's seeing something else. She pushes me aside because I'm not seeing the Sasquatches that she's seeing. She gets Mike to come over. And she said, Mike, tell me you see this Bigfoot, because clearly he doesn't know what a Bigfoot looks like. And I said, Robin, I've been so close to a Sasquatch that it would scare the living hell out of you. I've been within 10 inches of one. And she just kind of looked at me. I said, my first one was at Wellington Lake. I know exactly what they look like. If you're this close to one, trust me, one that's standing about 30, 40, 50 feet away from you doesn't mean anything. And she just kind of looked at me, and Mike said, he's got a Class A sighting. Yeah. And she was like, okay. So Mike comes over, and he's standing right there with her. And she goes, Mike, do you see the mother and the father and the kid? And he's like, tell me you see them, Mike. And he said, hold on. He goes, Miss Robin, I think I know what you're looking at. I think I see what you see, but I don't think it's what you really see. There's no Sasquatch there. Are you kidding me? He goes, no, I think you're seeing something else that looks like a Sasquatch, but it's not a Sasquatch. And she was like, they're right there. How is it you guys don't see it? And I walked back over by the fence, and we were probably about 20 feet from her. And she was going on and on and on. Oh, there you go ahead and eat. Oh, the little boy looks, oh yeah, let him eat. Oh yeah, it's so beautiful. Oh, so wholesome. Keep eating the food. Oh, this is wonderful. Blah, 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 blah. It just keeps going on and on and on. This goes on for like 3 hours. It was like 3 hours of nightmares of listening to this woman go on about how wholesome watching a young juvenile Sasquatch rip into meat. The thing is, even though if there was something they're eating, you would hear you would hear that. They're not gonna go. No, they're loud. They're loud. They're loud when they eat. I've heard them eat. They're loud. They're not quiet. They're going in it because they're enjoying their food. She's like, oh, that's so beautiful. This is like. So Mike and I were just kind of sitting there talking. I said, Mike, I've done security work. I've been in an ER setting where I got to watch people with mental issues. He goes, okay, this is one of them. And he was like, he looked at me, he goes, you can't say that. I said, no, I'm serious. This is what it is. This is like a mental breakdown. There's nothing there. You saw that there was nothing there. And he goes, there's nothing there. But she's seeing something. Right. So there's 3 of us. Only one of us sees something? That seems odd. So I just so happened to look down the fence line to one of the forests to my right. And I could see these little lights, these little pin lights in the darkness go blink, 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 blink. And I was like, I just was kind of looking at it. Robin finally calls me back over. Patrick, come back over here. And I'm still kind of looking at that. So I say, okay. So I get back, walk past Mike, and he's just kind of sitting there listening to this. He doesn't realize there's lighting going on at the end of the fence line. So I go, okay. She goes, now I want you to stand right here. Now, what's the difference between here and here? What's the perspective change? Nothing. But she's perceiving this. I was like, all right. She goes, now do you see them? I was like, no. She goes, get down to my level. Now, she's shorter than I am. So I crouched down a little bit to get to her level. Again, is there any perceived difference here? No. And so I get down to her level. And I'm looking at her, and she goes, do you see them now? I was like, no. There's nothing there, Robin. My eyes are fully adjusted to the lighting around me. I can see the plate. I can see the stump. I can see the trees. I can see the background. I can give you a description of the next fence, what it looks like. I can tell you what the fence on the far end probably looks like. There is no Sasquatch standing next to that stump, and there's nothing eating off that plate. And she's like, you're wrong. So she goes, whoop, and pushes me to the side. He calls Mike back over. Now I go back over, and I'm now facing the forest. I'm looking at that forest in the distance, and I'm seeing pairs of eyes. Blink, blink, blink. She gets Mike over there, and Mike's doing the same thing. He's looking at this, and he's like, he goes, Miss Robin, I want to say I believe you, but I don't see anything there. Patrick and I both don't see anything standing there. And she's like, Mike, I'm looking right at it. I'm not making this up. I'm seeing a Sasquatch mom and a dad and a kid. How is it that you guys don't see this? I don't know. And I turned around and I said, if you want, I can walk back over there. No, you'll scare them away. And I was like, so what? They'll come back, right? They'll come back and eat the food. What's the difference? So they both didn't want me to go walking over there to go investigate it. I have no problems going back into an area to see if there's food there. Turn on a flashlight, hit it, look at it, see if there's really something there or not. That would have ended the problem right away, but She didn't want to have that. She wanted to let the animals or the individuals eat the food that's there. So Mike comes walking back over to where I am, and he's like, "What are you looking at?" And I said, "That's eye shine." And he looked over and goes, "Oh, yeah, that's eye shine. Oh my God. Miss Robin, you need to come over and look at this." And she's like, "I am watching Sasquatch. I'm watching Sasquatch. I've got the right here, Mike. Why do you want to look at something way over there when they're all right here?" And he's like, "Okay." And I said, "Those might be the family down there, right?" And he goes, "Yeah, that's probably them. And they're not going to come out in a full open moon." Mike said, "Probably not. Now they do come out. They will come out if it's benefit to them. They'll come out. They'll come out of hiding." But at that moment, they were way down there in that forest, way down there. So I was like, all right. I couldn't even tell you because I didn't have a rangefinder to tell you what the distance was what we were looking at. But they looked like little pings of light, almost like fireflies, way off in the distance. And I was like, nah, you can't see a firefly. But these guys' eyes were glowing hard. And you could see the eyes. You could see the little blinking here and there. And I was like, well, that's pretty cool. Mike saw it. So two of us saw that. Only one of us saw Sasquatches over by that plate. So it was about 4.5, 5 hours later. Mike said, I'm getting kind of cold. I want to go to bed. I said, all right. So she said, okay, bye. We'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow. That plate will be empty, blah, blah.